Sticks and Strings. We are Three Sisters Creative, and I'm Naomi.
Beth?
Eve. Look, we did everything.
What?
We said the title of the video. We said our names. We remembered everything this week. Hello, we're back at these guys' house, and
This is video number 5.
This is the 5th episode. Episode 5. So I had told you last week about Finish It February. So I don't know if it counts, but I started this in February and I finished it. So does that count? Because I started a million things.
I would count it.
On Finish It February first week. I started many things. But this was one of them. I'll just babble first since I'm already babbling. I'm going to take this off because I'm getting hot. But I got a new spinning wheel last week and took it out of the box, and I had this fiber left over. This is a wool alpaca blend, and so I had started spinning it on something else, I don't know, but then I picked up the rest of it and I spun it up, and then I found a free pattern for this band, this ear band, ear warmer. So I made that real quick and finished it last night because I was just like, I want to use my new wheel and I want to knit with the yarn I spin, which I don't do as much as I should, as much as I spin. So that was my first start and my first finish in February. And then this is the yarn I had spun up when my mom was in the hospital. I started spinning that. And after she passed away, I finished this this bobbin. It's just the single. And then I had another 4 ounces of this fiber, and so I spun up a second bobbin, and I'm gonna ply them onto my big wheel, onto my new wheel. So I'll insert some pictures at the end of my new spinning wheel, my new King Bee, Spinolution King Bee. So, but yeah, so this is I was like, this is part of Finish It. I want to finish spinning the singles on this fiber. So you see, it's the same colorway, but just the way they wound up, the endings are very different. This ended with a dark purple, which under here, there's more dark purple, but it's just interesting how it can spin up like that. I'm going to chain ply it into a 3-ply, probably fingering weight yarn. So that's that. Oh, here's a good finish. I finished my brother's hat. So this is for my brother for Christmas. It's February. Merry Christmas, Tim. So this is, I think I talked about it last time. It's an alpaca and sort of mystery mix fiber that I spun 2 years ago, and I just decided to use it. So I made him a hat because it's very cold in New Mexico, and alpaca is very warm. So that's a finish. Yay! And then I started stuff. Remember that I talked about this concentric yarn that is goes from dark to light. It's alpaca. So I started the shawl for Rachel that she loved in the shop. It's a triangle, and it's hard to see, but it's textured in diamonds of knits and pearls. It's very pretty, and it's very soft. And so that was fun because the reason I started that is because I put this one in timeout. This was a cowl I'm also making for Rachel. I got mad because I made 3 mistakes and I had to knit back, and I got mad, put it in timeout. So I started something new. So that's my report, very quick report of where I am in Finish It February, which is nowhere near finished of anything, except for this. So that's me. I'm going to keep working on my son's sweater while we talk. So I'm done.
I'm just trying to...
What's this? Oh. So my cat, as I've mentioned before, is the wool hunter. And where'd you find these? Walmart?
Walmart.
These are not cat toys. They're dryer balls, but they have a cat face on them. And so Beth said my wool hunter kitty could have them, which means by next week they'll be bitten to shreds probably. But he loves dryer balls more than anything in the world. And he steals them out of our laundry baskets when we accidentally take them inside. So Hobbs will love these very much. So who's next?
I'm gonna. Well, go ahead. You can go, Eve, because I'm about to. I don't want to lose this. What I'm doing here.
Yeah,
I
no
forgot to
problem.
put the little Scotty over here, and it's just across the
Where?
house.
Well, I can go get it.
But I know which bag it's in.
Oh, okay.
So I've been working on a couple of things, and
Wait, hang on, I'm making noise. Okay.
the one of the things that I'm working on is this candy heart, which you can't see because I'm washed out. Watch the needle.
Needle's hanging. There it is. Where's the cat? There you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, and on Fat Quarter Shop you can purchase the cloth and a thread kit that has all the threads.
Let me interrupt you because on your post on the embroidery thing, you said this pattern is from Fat Shop instead of Fat Quarter Shop. And I almost commented, but then I was like,
I've
I'll
edited
just
it like
leave it.
I edited that comment like I don't know 3 times because I looked at it and was like, that's wrong, and I put it in, and then
Well,
oh,
maybe
no,
I
that's
saw the
wrong.
before, but
I didn't see that one.
because I saw it said Fat Shop, and I was
Well,
like,
the same thing happened when I did my floss tube update last Sunday. I did it very late at night, and I have not been able to think clearly for many reasons. One of them being that I'm finding it very difficult to sleep, and because it was late at night, so I actually filmed that 3 times, and I finally just posted it, even though it's probably the worst one that I did.
Sorry.
And it was so short. But I was like, what did I say last time? I don't know. And so I just
So I
just filmed
I
it.
always watch my old video.
No, I didn't mean what
before,
did I
but-
say last time last
Oh.
week. I meant what did I say last time, the last episode, the 2 tries
Oh.
before.
Oh, you did 2 takes.
I did 3.
Oh.
And I posted the 3rd one because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to keep doing it wrong.
You
So-
were wasting film.
And so I don't know, it was less than 10 minutes. It was a really short one. I was
That's
like,
all
well,
right.
whatever.
That's all. But anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I thought that was hysterical.
So yeah, it was pretty funny. So I'm working on this, and I would be done if I would quit making mistakes.
Not awful.
You know.
So I felt about that
Froggy
cow.
come a
I
courting.
was like, mm-mm.
Well, one of the reasons why I was having
that's not
trouble.
right. It is upside down.
Sorry, what? Sorry, we all interrupted you.
That happens all the time, though. One of the reasons why I kept making mistakes is, well, there's 2 reasons. I'm taking a medication that kind of makes my vision a little hard to see detail. It's not blurry exactly. Anyway, that and the fact that you can't see it, but this color is very close to the color of the fabric. And I would have chosen a different fabric, but I'd already started. And so it was difficult for me. I thought I had countered right, and I hadn't. And then also this pattern, when you visually look at it, it looks symmetrical, but it's not. And so I did just what was on the left side. I did it on the right side,
You
and
made
that
an
was wrong.
assumption.
Well, no, I looked at it and it looked the same to me.
You made an
so-
assumption. You made an assumption. You never make an assumption.
Girls,
I
what happens?
read I don't know how many posts where people say, they just they figured that, oh, it's just the border, it's the same as it was over there.
Right,
And
nope.
it's not,
Yeah, anyway, and then when I finished yesterday, I thought that I had done that again. And
You made
so
an
I went
assumption.
so I was like, oh, I'm going to have to take stuff out again. But I looked at it earlier today and I was like, oh, I just left out a row of the dark color and that's why everything's off by one thing.
That's what was happening with that owl cowl that I started. Because I asked Rachel, so I had gifted her the yarn and the knitting for the cowl for her birthday. And then she fell in love with that shawl, so she bought that yarn. And I said, which do you want me to make first? And she's like, I don't care. And so I said, well, you choose. It's, your stuff. And so she said the cowl. And I said, okay. So I started it. And, okay, in knitting, in a chart, when you're knitting a chart with cables and patterns, you're supposed to start at the bottom right and read from right to left. And if it's in the round, you go back to row number 2, right to left. Row number 3, right to left, because you're knitting around and then you come back to the chart, right? And you go around and you come back. But when you knit, and that's how I made the gloves, the same patterns. But when you knit flat, you go row 1, right to left, and then row 2, you have to read from left to right. And all the symbols are inverted. So a blank square on the odd rows is a knit stitch, and a dot is a purl stitch. On the even rows, they're opposite.
The other way around.
So you have to remember, and so
that's not hard at
well,
all.
so but nothing in the pattern I have has all 3 things: a hat, the gloves, and this cowl. And the hat and glove are obviously worked in the round. So you would go bottom to top, right to left, right to left, right to left. And so I saw the chart, and then I realized it was knit flat, and I was like, oh, okay. But it didn't say in there. It assumed that you weren't stupid like me, and it didn't say this chart is worked, flat and even numbers work from left to right or whatever. Like I have seen in some other charts. But so I was wrong to assume that. And I started, and I kind of thought, well, maybe I'm wrong for a second. But I looked at they had also had written instructions, and I looked at that. And because most of the chart is symmetrical, it looked like it didn't matter until you came to the cable crossings. So I realized that most of it was okay until I got to this one part where you bind off a few stitches here and bind off a few stitches there. I wound up binding off, or about to bind off, both things on the same side. No, this is wrong. I'm supposed to be reading the even rows from left to right and all that. And so I have Knit Companion on the iPad, and I had already set it up to where all the knits, whether they're blank squares or dots, are the same color, and all the purls, because you can specify odd and even rows. It's really great. But I still was like, oh, I have to. So I just started the whole thing over. And then I got to a certain point, and I don't know if I was sleepy or what, but I was confused about which way the cables were supposed to go. Because they're supposed to cross, a certain way. And I kept looking at it, and I'm like, did I do this wrong? Did I do it wrong? I think I did it wrong. And for some reason, I don't know, like I said, if you can't concentrate or you don't, I was too sleepy. I don't know what it was. I kept looking at it, and I'm like, I'm putting you in timeout because I have to actually, not look at it for a while. So I started out of the shawl. I told her, I'm starting your shawl because your cow's in timeout. And then I looked at it yesterday, and I'm like, I think I did it right. So I have to really study it, sit down, and focus. But I can't focus.
Yeah, but if you don't do it right, the owl won't come out, right?
Well, this is just the bottom, but so I kept looking at the pattern, and I'm like, no, I think it. First, I was looking at the wrong side, and I'm like, oh no, this looks totally wrong. And then I realized, oh no, that's the. So then I looked at the right side, and I was looking at it and looking at the picture. I'm like, no, I think those are crossing the right way. It's just the very bottom. But if I kept going, it was just one cable that could have been miscrossed. But I think it's okay. But it just makes me crazy.
I find it interesting that I learned to knit and to crochet when I was under 10. And I think I taught you how to crochet, but I don't think I taught you how to knit.
You did teach me how to knit.
Did I?
Yeah, when I was in college, and I couldn't.
So
I couldn't do it.
in college to now is much less time than from when, because she's almost 10 years younger than me, than from when I was under 10 to now. I still know how to knit and to read a pattern. I still know how to crochet and to read a pattern. I usually don't read a pattern when I crochet, but I know how.
Yeah.
And I taught Beth how to crochet, how to cross stitch 20 years ago?
89,
Yeah.
88, I mean.
So, I don't know how she can remember what year, but
I
she can.
remember because it was right before I moved to Little Rock.
Oh.
It was the Christmas before I moved to Little Rock, and I moved to Little Rock in September of '88.
So, Beth cross stitches way better than I do and has output
And patience.
many things.
And she finishes
And-
everything.
And she finishes everything.
I can't finish a thing to save my life.
Says
I only recently started being able to finish patterns.
Because you're doing patterns that are this big. I can finish patterns that are this big.
Okay, do it.
No, I'm just saying I can't. Oh yeah, the fish. I didn't finish the fish.
And also because I just have a heightened interest in it.
Yeah.
That's
my problem. Is that I love cross stitch and I love the way it looks, but my passion right now is with yarn. I can't get over it. So
Well, I think one of the reasons why I have a heightened interest in it is because Beth said to me one day, you should design a cross stitch pattern.
yeah.
And I said, And so I did one, and I thought, that was almost as fun as painting. And then I did another one, and then I did another one. And now I really, really enjoy designing them. And because I design them, I'm more interested in finishing them. Now, the last few, the two big ones in, the two big ones that we gave away, I didn't attempt to make a sample of those. Just because I'm working on other things. The one with the Christmas ornaments, the second one that we, oh, by the way, Beth has never given me the email.
what I need is the email address
Yeah,
rather than the physical
but
address.
send it to Three Sister Creative.
For
Send
who?
it to
Who are you
Three
talking to?
Sister Creative. The other person that,
Hildy Johnson, I think, was the
Oh,
other person that
yeah,
requested
because
it.
she sent it to Beth, and
And somehow the whatever message I had it on disappeared. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
she
but-
commented on last week's video, and so we can reply to that and ask her to send it. So
Yeah.
remind me to do that.
okay, because I don't
If you're
want you to.
listening, yeah, we need the email.
Yeah, I don't want you to think that we're ignoring you, but a series of things happened, and so if I get it on a return email, I answer the Three Sister Creative email once in a while. Naomi will answer it, but I answer it right away. It comes into my phone.
I
And
don't
answer it right away.
answer it right away because I don't want to get you mixed up if you are doing something.
Yeah.
So I don't look at it as I try
so-
not to. So you can,
Yeah.
because one person has to be in charge of that.
And
so.
if you want to contact us at all for any reason, Three Sister Creative is the best way, because if I get something, I can contact Naomi or Beth and tell them what it said, and Naomi has access to that email. Beth has access, she just doesn't.
I just have it. Yeah. I have it on my phone.
And so, but what I was saying about, I
I don't know
lost my
what you
train
were
of thought.
saying.
Whatever you're saying.
Oh, about designing, about doing the
designing.
stitching of the design, and for me, I've been so busy these last the January and February. I have to respond to health insurance about how much money I made last year. But they want a document like my tax return. But I couldn't make my tax return because A, TurboTax wouldn't take it yet, and that's what I use. B, the documents weren't sent to me yet. And so now I finally finished today, and I have it, but I have to figure out how to get it up and give it to them and all that, and make sure that that's all they needed. Because it takes forever, even if it's a pretty simple return. I have to get this document and that document, and and then I filled out something, and I spent a whole lot of time trying to figure out where I made a mistake, and I finally couldn't. I said, well, it's just giving me a deduction that I'm not going to get, so whatever. I got to finish. Anyway, so yesterday I was doing that until 1 a.m. So it was difficult for me to get up this morning.
How I used to, when I lived in Little Rock, I would like set aside the whole evening or whatever to sort of, because even though I always told myself, every year I told myself, I'm just, because I had to save certain receipts for certain things. And so, I had a little basket that, where I kept receipts, and I told myself, I would every few weeks go through that basket and throw away the stuff I didn't need or whatever, and just keep the ones, that were important. And of course I didn't do that,
Because you never listen to yourself.
So I would do really well for like 3 months, and then I would have a pile. And so I would just sit there on my couch by the coffee table with all this basket of receipts going through everything. I'm like, okay, throw away. I got the lot away. And I have a big old pile that I would throw away. And, and then I would take 2 or 3 days to sort of slowly go through all my receipts and my taxes and all that. And I always had to do the regular return plus Schedule C, because I had business income, because as a musician that was separate from, if I did gigs or if I did, various other things. So, and matter of fact, the first couple of years that I lived there, I had I don't know how many forms that I had to fill out, because especially the first year, because I had partial income taxes from state income taxes from New Mexico, and partial state income tax from Arkansas, plus just every form I filled out generated another form I had to fill out, generated another form I had to fill out.
Well, at least you only inflict your receipt mess on yourself.
Yes.
I inflict it on my husband. I just every once in a while clean out my purse, and I just hand him a wad of receipts, and he painstakingly goes through them and throws away the ones we need, and we don't need, and keeps the ones we do, and I move along my merry way.
So it seems to be I keep leaning on something in this table. The leaf in this table is creaky.
Well, stop cleaning.
But
Is that all you're doing, Eve? It's just that one? That's all you got?
I'm going to do the other 3.
Sorry for our noisy table. No, I know. I'm just saying that's the thing you're working on right now.
Yeah, and I bought some.
See,
Sorry that
now
the
you're
table is
doing it.
creaky. But I bought some really cute ribbon that has candy hearts on it that I'm going to use to finish it.
Oh, neat.
And it's just going to be a decorative thing on here somehow. And I'm not going to do all 5 candy hearts, just 4. And so I have to decide which one I'm leaving out. I'll probably leave out the yellow one. I don't know. I'll look at the rest.
But
of
the yellow would be high contrast to your fabric.
Well, I could leave out the pink one.
True.
Yeah.
Now we do a floss toss and see which ones.
Or look at the ribbon and see what colors are on the ribbon. And either.
All of them are.
Oh.
That's what I liked about it.
But I mean, you can compare the floss to the fabric and see which ones are gonna stand out better, which ones.
Cause I don't
So
wanna
that
do
you're-
another blind thing
Mhm.
like this one. I liked that, well, look, I'm working, here, can you do this?
Yes.
I'm working right now on the blue one, and I want you to look at that blue as opposed to the blue it actually is.
Oh, because the printout. Oh
So-
yeah.
I thought that fabric would be fine because
It's
the blue
is
was
it a very
darker.
light blue fabric?
yeah, it's like a almost cloudy clouds. It's like blue and white.
It's hard to see. Oh, I see it now. Yeah.
And it's a piece that I had left over, and I from I did a design. It's on a pillow back here. Oh no, it's over there on the piano with a snowman.
Oh.
And this was leftover fabric from that, and I said, well, this is big enough to do 4 of them, so I have to pick. But, so I barely had enough time to do my 30 minutes of stitching yesterday. And it was like you said, I had to put it in timeout because I thought I had made a mistake the day before.
Yeah.
No, that night, yesterday, I thought it, I was like, ugh. And so I didn't even try to work on it any further.
But what I was asking is, that's the only pattern you're working on right now?
No.
Oh.
I'm working on, I have a whole bunch in progress. I'm working on a turtle design, that's free from, DMC, has a whole bunch of free patterns, and I got this from DMC, and they have the imaginative name of turtle on it, and and so I really like it, but I used to work at a day program teaching art to adults with developmental disabilities, and we were doing a Halloween thing where every design that they did needed to glow in the dark in some way. So we added glow in the dark stuff to the paint that they were using, or we used paint that was glow in the dark already. But they were not Halloween subjects. And one of the people in that program painted a turtle, and the paints that she chose were a mixture of glow in the dark and not, but it was sparkly, and I just really liked it. And so when I saw that turtle, I thought, I'm gonna get some blending filament and make this one sparkly, and in that some of the stuff I'm putting in it is glow in the dark. And I'm liking the way it's coming out, but if you've stitched with filament, you can only do it for a while before you want to pull your hair out.
That's why I gave up on that ship 1,000 years ago.
I don't know why you add that, because it's not in the pattern at all.
I don't know. I don't know. You told me to, or I thought of it.
Not me.
Probably for
probably.
the same reason I added filaments, is that you see it and it's pretty, and you think, well, how hard could it be? But I've used blending
Well, I
filament
went outside the
before.
box, Beth. I'm wild. I'm a trailblazer.
Made
But
it so difficult for yourself that you didn't finish it.
I like
It was
the
like
way
the first thing I'd ever done, or
I
something.
know, it was pretty early
I
on.
like the way it
think,
looks. So I think that when I get it done, it's gonna be really pretty,
Yeah.
because I have a mixture of kind of metallic blending filaments and sparkly ones and glow in the dark ones. So it's gonna be different.
So you're saying your lips.
What do you mean?
When you finish it.
Well, that's why I'm only working on this and that this month.
Ah.
So, what I've been working on.
Oh yeah, I talked a long time, didn't I?
I have a few patterns that I'm doing for the Love to Stitch 2021 embroidery.com challenge. But so I have a finish. So this is Four Fat Friends, a freebie from the Drawn Thread. It's
Trying to get a good light.
mostly Weekstyle Works threads. The
pretty.
red is not the called for, and the little backstitched beaks and legs are not the called for, but
So cute.
so
What's this called?
Four Fat Friends.
Oh. I thought it
That's
was from someplace called Four Fat.
No,
It's a theme going on.
it's the Drawn Thread is
Oh, I see, I
the designer.
I see.
And I've had that freebie forever, for
It's cute.
a couple of years, I think. Anyway, so I finished that, and I started to work on. I have a la-di-da pattern called Kitty Kitty, but and in the model, it's stitched on black cloth. But I chose. I had a dark green, darker than this tablecloth, dark green cloth from the Primitive Hair that I bought at the attic years ago, and it's really hard to stitch on because the holes are hard to see. It's 30 count, so it's pretty small. But then it was hard to tell, like the I don't know where the holes were and everything. It was really taxing, and so I just did like one little line, and I
Put it in time.
yeah. Well, and the other problem was that I had that at one point I had taken all the threads out of all these projects, and so I have the bobbin. I have thread. I have tons and tons of thread, but nothing was in the project bags, and so I just worked with what I had because I was too lazy to go hunt up threads and everything. But so I just did that one line of that la-di-da pattern. I was like, I'm too tired and I'm not going to do it. So I worked a little bit on. I had the Western Biscornu. I worked on that. That's a tiny modernist design. But then I started on this more chocolate bunnies. This is a hands-on design. Design.
Yikes! This table. Life needs more chocolate bunnies.
Yeah, and
Cute.
and so this is where I am on this one. I worked on this on the last 2 or 3 days. When I started, I had done the more chocolate bunnies phrase, and I don't remember what I did it when this pattern first came out, shortly after it came out, something like that. But so just recently, in the last 2 or 3 days, I did the green carrot stems on the bottom, fronds, whatever you call it, greens on the bottom, and the life needs words on the top. And now I'm doing some more of the greens up here. But the problem the reason I started this like 3 times, on the third time was the charm. While Eve was talking, I was like, God, I did it upside down and I did it in the wrong place twice. And, I had one stitch covering over like 3, squares instead of 2 or whatever. So I'm like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. So, so yeah, I had to restart it a couple of times, and
I hate that.
yeah. Well, and I'm trying to use, I have this little last piece of thread, so I'm trying to use it. So ordinarily, this is all DMC threads, and ordinarily I would use the loop start and make it easy, make life easier on myself. But I'm using a little scrap left over from the last time I used this color, and so I'm having to, it's just a pain. And then this cloth, this is the same cloth that I did the Santa nose on, and it's very
It's loose.
floppy and loose, and the weave is very loose, very open, and so it's like a linen, a natural color linen, and it's just really hard to work with. And it's, if I have to watch the tension, because it tends to pull the threads, apart, and then it's just really floppy, and so
But it's pretty.
It's beautiful.
yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks nice in this color. I was afraid that that it would be too light for the
white.
white
No,
is,
it's
but
good.
it looks good. Yeah,
I think it looks real good.
yeah. So, and yesterday I bought a skein of this white, because I know I have it somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. I don't know what project it's in. And I just didn't want to. I kind of looked through all the stuff that I had handy, because I know I just recently used that color, that 3865. It's a white, not quite as bright as the B5200, but so I had used the 3865 for something. You know what? I used it for Santa Nose, and I just thought, well, the bobbin has to be here somewhere, because I used it for Santa's beard and for the sheep, for the white parts of the sheep, because it was supposed to be ecru, and ecru is basically this color. So I went,
Something else.
whiter with 3865, and I don't know what I did with all the bobbins and the threads from that project. They're not, anywhere handy. So
Not with your stuff.
yeah, so I don't know what I may have put it in another bag, and just stuck it somewhere else. I don't know. So I just bought another. We were roaming around at Walmart the other day, and it's like, I bet they had that, because Walmart doesn't have a very big selection of
Right.
threads, but they had 3865. So
Walmart to the rescue.
yes.
Okay.
We had to pause, so I went and got this. This is the Scotty dog, all finished.
Scotty dog, how cute!
Yeah, I love it. I
So
just
cute.
have to decide what I want to do with it. And then this is the sparkly turtle.
Oh, I was
Oh,
wondering what that thread was. Just the.
it's the beginnings of the sparkly turtle.
Well, yeah, and I have all the threads. It's just, I have to take this in little pieces. So,
But well, that's fun. Yeah, it's been a slow week for me. I don't even know, what did I do this week?
I didn't know it was Saturday.
Oh, I did bring the travel owl out here.
Oh.
I did a little bit of the outside.
So
of
I
it.
saw Rachel yesterday. She said, I love it so much. She really loves
Oh, really?
that. Yeah, she's very excited about that.
Well,
It's
now
so
I gotta
grateful.
finish it.
Yeah, she saw it. Now she wants it. You
Yeah.
better get it done.
I did some on Sunday after we did the video on Saturday.
Yeah,
So I did, because on Saturday last week I just finished
the center part.
that middle center, the middle piece. So I've done the beak and one outside area, the short area on one side,
Yeah.
and excuse me, and
I can't work on
Yeah.
just one project. I have to have I get
I have several, but
bored. I like it to rotate around and do whatever. And now I got that new spinning wheel, so of course I'm obsessed with
it's
that.
with all of some of the crochet that I watch. There are some people that have really rigid you know, on Mondays they do this, on Tuesdays they do that, or they have like so many, you know, so many days of this project, and then, you know, like 10 days working on this and 10 days working on that.
I can barely
And-
remember to take all my medicine every day. I don't think I could stick to any kind of schedule.
Yeah, I just kind of I tried to do that, but then I was like, yeah, I can't. The only thing I've done is like when Mania comes around, I've done like, you know, 1 week working on this project, 1 week working on that, because I had like 4 of those tall ships. I had 4 patterns, and there were 4 weeks in May, so I did a week working on each one or something like that. But otherwise, like for this one, well, and for the Witchy Stitchy thing, Witchy Stitchy challenge in October, there were certain things that were
Assigned or whatever.
yeah, required or whatever. But also I had chosen again like 4 projects or something like that. So I worked on one each week or whatever. But for this one, you know, I just kind of like had a bunch of random things. Oh, and one of the ones I meant to work on that I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago, but not last week when I was talking about all the projects I was considering for this February challenge. One of them was this peacock kit. And I was gonna dye the Ada cloth a certain color, and I just haven't done it. I just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So
well, I was like, you know,
I haven't
finish in
done that,
February. I haven't, you know, I haven't like posted things online with the hashtag or anything like that. But I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be inspired by that, and really, not. I can't confine myself to only whips. But I thought I'll work on these I'll make a point to work on them every day. And so far the sock hasn't come out, but this has come out. And my husband gets sad when I just hide in my daughter's room, my craft room. Sorry, Hannah. And all the time. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just take, because I don't really need the pattern right now for this, because I just have to make inches. And so I'm like, I can just sit in the living room, I guess, and knit on this. So I was able to do that one night, but I just have not been consistent. And my son, he's like, oh, I see you're not working on my sweater right now. Like, I know, sorry.
So before we run out of time, I do want to do a giveaway of
The snow people?
the snow people. The blue isn't as stark or contrast as it looks there. I don't know why it came out like that.
This dark blue, you mean?
No, the blue around their faces.
Oh,
You
the
see how
snow.
it looks really,
Oh,
really stark?
yeah.
It doesn't look like
It's more
that.
subtle in the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Cute.
we're gonna give that to one person, and I will post this on the Etsy site
Okay.
for purchase. It's not there yet, but I will. I need to have a better printout of it. I don't like.
So we'll spin for it next week?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna give this away like we have before. We will spin for a winner next week. So if you want this, be sure to comment in the comments and say that you want to be entered for the drawing for this. It's called In the Snow by my sister Eve. And it will also be on Etsy for purchase if you'd like. So please put that in the comments. Also, make sure you subscribe and put on
Your bell.
your notifications so that you find out when we put up a new episode. And thank you to our new subscribers. We got 5 subscribers
Yes.
last week.
that was something that has come up a couple times with the Priscilla and Chelsea Stitching with the Housewives that I watch. Priscilla has mentioned it a couple times about, you know, like being able to check and see if you're a subscriber, because, you know, they do giveaways every week and you have to be a subscriber, and I guess they're trying to make sure that the people who are entering whatever are subscribers, because, you know, you have to be a subscriber and you have to comment on the
For that channel.
video for that giveaway. And somebody else had mentioned you have to make you have to be public. And so I guess the default, if you're a subscriber, the default is that your account is private. But if you make it public, then the person that you subscribe to can check and see if you're a subscriber. Something like that. I had never,
Oh, I don't know.
I just had assumed that my account was public because, when I comment on stuff for giveaways,
Maybe you can make it private.
something.
maybe
No,
they-
it defaults private.
I
Private.
don't know.
And so
Oh, that's
I don't
okay.
know.
That's okay.
Yeah, but I don't think.
No,
that-
no. I just mean my own account. I had to look at it
Yeah,
to
I
see.
don't think that we need to say.
Because
No,
no,
you
no,
just-
no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
I just saying that some that had come up a couple times, and I was looking at my account, and and to find the place where it says that your account is private, it was kind of convoluted and
Oh.
like I was going, well, is it here? Is it there? Is it, you have to like.
Well, that's
It's
okay.
a very
We just
strange
want you to comment and
Yeah.
let us know you want to be in the drawing, and that's enough. But if you like our video, please give us a like and subscribe and do your notifications, and that way you won't miss an episode. And in the description box below, I'm going to put our link tree where you can click on that. You can get to our Etsy shop. You can get to Eve's YouTube and Beth's YouTube channel also if you want to see those, and you can like and subscribe to those as well.
Yeah.
And then like I said, and eventually we'll have our website on there. So please check out those things. And you have anything else to say? Are we all done?
I think
Dinner's ready.
Dinner will be ready.
So, she's got dinner in the oven.
My-
That's why she's
my
like,
father's my father's really hungry.
yeah, that's a good thing. We don't want to waste that. So anyway, well, thank you for coming back, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.